put that the killing of Mary Dalton was his.
It fed his id.
Yeah, it was like the first time you see his id develop in the book. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, I understand exactly.
Okay. Does everyone understand what I mean?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess when I first read it, when I see it and it makes sense. That line that you just read on page 113, and I wrote, it's foreshadowing the beginning of a power journey. Like it's the once he realizes that her death brought him power, that's when his whole journey to continue to seek the power with the murder of Bessie, it embarks. My favorite quote in the book I've been so dying to read is on page 429, and although I'm a little ahead of myself, but I feel like it just ties everything together. It says, when a man kills, it's for something. I didn't know I was really alive in this world until I felt things hard enough to kill for them. Which is something that I also remembered when Gus told him that, you know, the idea of flight, that he wasn't going to get his wings until he was in heaven and God was going to give it to them. Again, this idea of death and the idea of freedom and the idea of flight. When you supposedly when you die, you know, you go to heaven, you fly.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what happened with him. Yeah. Like
through death, which is ironic.
Exactly. You shouldn't be able to have freedom through death, but that's how Bigger experienced it, by killing somebody else. By him making someone else die, he gave someone else freedom and he gave himself power.
It would gave himself, religiously speaking, his wings.
Yeah.
That's both a motif and an archetype in itself, because you know, as a motif, we also seen this in the short story, you know, the Metamorphosis, where Gregor Samsa himself also only found himself upon death. But here also we have the archetype that he basically is a religious embodiment as well. He's fitting the Jesus archetype, where he in himself finds salvation, but only through death. But then that in himself is a continuance. Basically, the message, Wright's message at the end of the book is what's supposed to be his legacy of Bigger Thomas onto the readers. And we even see this in itself, ironically, when he basically burns Mary in the furnace. But this is a contradiction because it's ironic because of the contradiction in that it's always snowing, so he's always feeling this surrounding of the whites, which we also can connotate to.
So you're saying that this white, the snow is the symbol of
white's encroachment,
the permutation of white superiority, white.
So,
okay.
And also through the religious construct that it's the fire that actually helps him completely abolish himself of all of the whites hold on him.
So the fire in the furnace was a reflection of the fire that was going to be coming out of.
Yeah, because overtly we could think about that as a condemnation of his acts, where he would be punished for it.
Yeah. And the fact that her bones are still found in the furnace shows that there's still something holding him on. There's still some sort of the white supremacy within him, which you see at the end, that you see this power complex that he had. He sees that, oh no, it wasn't that I killed her, it was an accident. You see that there is still a hold on him from the whites, which is indicated with the whole
that's
furnace.
Overtly, but subvertly, an undertone of that is that he is already, that's his action. That action in itself has started to burn at the cinders of the whites' hold on him. That they don't have complete control. But then again, that's an argument we could get to as to whether the individual ever has a true self versus societal influence complete, or whether it's only a small bit of societal influence.
What did you want to...
I was going to say that this power surge that he gets once he kills Mary was technically inauthentic or fake, as Daniel was getting at 2 seconds ago. Because the only reason that he killed her was out of fear, the same way that he was backed against the wall, the same way the rat was. So that confidence that he feels in himself, that meaning that his life now has, was still due to the whites having control of him. If that makes sense.
Chris?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I agree with them. At this point in time, though, you also, you can see after he killed her, even though he says and he states repeatedly that, yeah, it was an accident, he still goes on to say, would any of the white faces all about him think that he had killed a rich white girl? No, they might think he would steal a dime, rape a woman, get drunk, or cut somebody, but to kill a millionaire's daughter and burn her body, he smiled a little, feeling a tingling sensation enveloping all his body. He knew, he felt, and he was confident in the sense that he thought he was going to get away with what he did. He felt that he pulled over one over the white people, that he had power and that he can get away with anything. And then later on, he goes to say he didn't feel sorry about Mary, that she wasn't real to him, that she wasn't even human. And at that point, he already knew he had the power, but still, he went on to, not only did he suffocate her by accident, but he went on to burn her, and he could have just stopped at the burning, because since she was drunk, he could have just pulled it off as saying, oh, she suffocated herself because she was drunk in her bedroom.
She wasn't smart enough for that.
But, yeah, but you don't know what someone does when they're drunk. So she could have just gone on, and she could have suffocated her own self while she was sleeping.
Yeah, but if he said that, you think they're really going to believe
No,
him?
The
obviously
idea is
not.
that they're not
They
going
might
to
not
believe
him, but...
and that he can't get to that rationale.
I see what you're saying. He didn't have to go to that extreme.
Yeah, but
exactly, he didn't have to go to that extreme to say, oh, you know, I had to go on and take her body, decapitate her, and throw her in the furnace.
No, that is an extreme. But the fact,
Exactly.
But the fact is that I think the reason that Wright's as soon as it is that he doesn't pretend, or he doesn't have Bigger pretend as, oh, it was Mary's fault, is that Bigger himself can't get to the idea that it could have been an accident. Because I think Bigger wants to believe that he did this. I think Bigger, it helps Bigger and it helps Wright as a writer to show that one, blacks can't think that, oh, it's not their fault, and two, that Bigger wants to believe that he did this, that he's finally what's that word when you God damn it, no, when forget it, it was just a stupid word. When you finally do something that you've always wanted to do, he's finally won it. He's finally won the big prize. He's finally done the one thing he thought he could never do. He has reached fulfillment. That's what he wants to believe he did that. So I think the reason that scene is carried out like that is for a specific purpose, you know. But I have something to say right after Chris. Don't jump. Chris, go.
Hold on. Let Chris.
Yeah. Okay. After Chris, me.
When Nicole had said that she doesn't believe that the power that he got was real, I don't believe that the power he got was fictitious. Because when you, it wasn't, because that would be saying, would you think that he did it by accident and he's just claiming it? I don't think it was an accident. I think that subconsciously he wanted to kill her because that's what he was driven to. Like this, the way he like it's just natural for him to want to kill her. It's where the way he smothers her body. It's sort of the same way the flame engulfs the body as he burns her. It's this like taking over and controlling the white. It's antithetically flipping the snow. You know how the snow covers Chicago and oppresses them? It's a flipping of that because now he's smothering the black is smothering the white. The flames are getting the body, and it's fighting back, but in a natural way. And when you were talking about how he's this archetypal figure, he's a Christ figure. He's become sacrificial.
Yeah, even the fact that the victim is named Mary and he gets his rebirth from this is reflective of
Because
that.
Bigger thought
He's-
is that archetype.
He's dying. He's
Yeah,
gonna die.
and through Bigger's death is where people see.
Yeah.
This novel is where he's
But-
he's
like the Black
going to
Christ.
comment on
He's-
the Negro experience.
Look, from his act, he will die, and he knows this.
Well, he says
Yeah.
because my black
Yeah.
skin, I know what's going to
But-
happen
Yeah.
to me.
But it's revealing that within every Negro lies the potential of a Bigger. Like there, within,
Which has two sides: the good redemption side and the
Or-
killing Mary and Betsy side.
there within within every black man lies the potential to rebel in the way that Bigger had just rebelled.
The
What-
rebellion and
But
redemption.
I still think it was driven by an accident. The only reason he smothered her was because he didn't want her to talk. It led to her death, but it was still driven by his fear of white retaliation.
But was he
I don't feel
really an
he-
accident?
Because
putting
if
her in
you
the furnace?
if
Well,
he
that's
wanted
what you
And
if he
decapitated
wanted
her.
if
The
he
furnace-
wanted to cover her mouth and her not to talk, he could have covered her mouth. But naturally, he cut like a snake. He kind of constricted tighter till he squeezed the life out of her. So I don't feel it was an accident. I feel like his body drove him to do it.
So the separation of mind and body.
Inherent black body.
Yeah.
Let me
So
just.
maybe it was instinct called that, but consciously he didn't do it.
No. I'm saying, but it's
But you know, but if we
subconscious.
go
A
down
lot of
that,
body
just excuse me for a second, but if we go down that line of logic, if we're saying that he instinctively killed him, we're
Yeah.
almost saying that blacks are instinctively
Thank you.
killers and
Yeah, it's,
No,
it's,
no,
it's
no,
a
no,
natural
no,
thing to
no.
kill.
If
No.
because we're framing him according to the rat. The rat is instinctive.
I just had to throw it out there just
The
to...
rat behaves instinctively.
You had to throw it out there. It was a natural instinct.
I just had to throw that out there just to...
Well, no, that wouldn't have to even be a question of
He had to throw the
Negro.
rat.
That would be a question of humans.
He just wanted to be devil's
so
advocate.
it wouldn't be black people.
It wouldn't be a matter that black people are violent.
Go ahead.
It would be a matter of humans.
Yeah, I'm saying subconsciously he wanted her death, not that he like.
Not that he had this
tick and
racist
he like
sort of.
You wanted to say something.
I'm kind of in the middle of Nicole and Chris because I don't think it's so much had to do with Mary, the killing and everything. It's something he had to prove to himself because he felt a sense of constrainment, which is why he asserted himself on her like that with a constraint because he felt like he was constrained. He needed liberation. He had no sense of individuality. And by killing her, he felt that he proved something to himself. Did he intentionally kill her? Yes, because he had something to prove subconsciously, not so much as dealing with Mary itself. But at the end, he was guilty about the whole idea because he figured, oh my God, I killed Jane, loved Mary, and when I was killing her, I was thinking of the white oppression that's asserted upon me. But now I'm seeing him as this individual. I'm seeing this white person, but I'm in the wrong as well because I didn't see the white as a white. And the black didn't see me as a black. We didn't see each other. We were both blind, which is why he was guilty for killing. He felt that way for killing Mary. No.
So everybody's guilty of myopia.
Well, heck yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's
It's
guilty.
why Mary's mother is blind.
Yeah.
Why Mary is drunk when she dies. No?
Yeah, that one.
You don't have to convince us.
Okay, wait. No, I have something to say, please.
Okay. Yes?
Okay. First off, because I need to bring it back. Women not insignificant in this novel being what was it that you said? That
she didn't say that they weren't insignificant. She said that they were
No,
victimized.
Okay, victimized, vulnerable, no offense, but I think it's the women in this novel that give bigger the power. If it wasn't for Mary's death, you wouldn't have this whole hero complex, or this, not the hero complex.
She didn't say that they were insignificant. She said that they were the victims.
Okay,
you can explore
I'm working here.
Give
me a minute. Okay, I don't see them as vulnerable. In reality, I think that the women are the strongest in this novel because it's without them, you don't have this. Mary's the catalyst, and in all seriousness, I think we're discussing the wrong death. I think the death that really gives bigger the power is Jessie, because if anything, Bessie. I'm sorry, someone said Jeannie.
Yeah,
Bessie. I think that's the death that's most significant in this novel because if anything, you can say Mary's death was an accident. If anything. Okay, I mean, the most simplest of arguments is that it was an accident. But Bessie, he got the rock. He hit her across the head.
He didn't want to get caught, and
it was it was a blow. This was a conscious act that it wasn't that his body just no. He got the rock in his hand and he hit her on the head. You know, that is the death where he says, "This is me. I am in control." I think that's the most important one, and it's always the death of women that brings down the demise of men, if you want to look at that, or bring about some awakening of some sort.
Or you can say that the death of a woman gives.
Right.
Sorry, I just got it. Gave him agency. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I say. Mary's death is what gives him this idea that yes, I am bigger Thomas, and then you have Mary's death that says not only am I bigger Thomas, but I am freaking God because I can control now everything that happens.
Well, he thinks he can.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that and it's funny because women are. We talked about a couple of books about women being life and death. Well, Mary's death gives him the death of the white supremacy support accordingly, and it's Bessie's death that gives him this gives him life in the idea that now he really does have control. So you see, it's the women and it's their death that bring life and death to these ideas. You see what I'm getting at?
I see exactly where you're going.
Cool. That's what I had to say.
Carlos, let me ask you something. A critic, Rampersad, says that I'll read it to you. The sound of the alarm that opens Native Son was Richard Wright's urgent call to 1942 America to awaken from its self-induced slumber about the reality of race relations in the nation. Do you agree with that? Do you think that onomatopoeia that he uses, that bring at the beginning, what is he warning? If we were to take Rampersad's thesis, if you will, that Native Son is a type of warning to America. What is he? Let's just say that we agree with that thesis. I'm not saying that you do, but let's just go along with this. What is he warning through this text? What is he warning America about?
I think he's warning America about the fact that the Negro has the same power as the white supremacy to retaliate